and it is very much user friendly as well. We can handle the caches and cookies, all those kinds of stuffs we can do over here, and the results are very much informative, which can be easily understood by the client or by the development team. So that's why we are using JMeter industry wide. So for installing JMeter, and these are the steps. So we can download the JMeter from this link, and we need to make sure that Java is there installed in our system. So we can easily make sure that from CMD, like Java hyphen version, and we can see whether Java is installed in our system or not. It is the only prerequisites, and once it is installed, we can easily download JMeter from here. So this is another tool. I should not say it's a tool. It's a Chrome extension, and it is called BlazeMeter. So BlazeMeter basically is required to record the script. So BlazeMeter can easily download. It's also an again an open source extension, Chrome extension. We can easily download it and we can add it to our Chrome. Provided the steps over here. So this is how we can download the BlazeMeter. And first we need to select. So let me show it to my browser. So basically this is our intranet, and I have my BlazeMeter over here. This is the BlazeMeter. So what I will do while recording a script, suppose this is an application which we need to perform performance testing over. So I will click over here and I will open the BlazeMeter. A small pop-up like this will open. We need to make sure that we are logged in. So suppose I'm giving a name over here, name of the project, performance training, and I will start the recording. Now what I will do, I will write each and every steps that I'm performing over here. Like first, let me say hit URL, and I will add the step and I will hit it over here. Okay, so URL is hit. Now suppose I will say click login button at the steps, and I will click login button. Okay. Now suppose I'm saying click about us. So whatever we will do, first of all, we need to write it over here. We need to add the steps, and then we will perform that steps. Click about us. So I will click about us. Yeah. So suppose let me take this scenario only. So I have completed the scripting. Now I will stop it over here. Once stop, this pop-up will disappear. Then again we have to open it here, and we will see that place meter icon is blinking. That means our script is ready. So what we will do, we'll open the blaze meter, we'll go in and save, and we will JMeter JMX, you can see over here. So JMX is the file .jmx file. So it will get downloaded once we click on save. Yeah. So this part is actually our recording part is completed. So we have recorded a small script, and this script includes like hitting the URL, logging to the application with valid credential, and then clicking on about us page. So this much scenarios. Now we have our JMX file over here. Now what we need to do, we need to import this JMX file in JMeter. So this is our JMeter UI. Whenever we will launch the JMeter app in our system, you can see this page. So here we need to import the downloaded JMX file that I have just downloaded from BlazeMeter extension. So I need to open it from here. I can open it from here, or I can easily drag and drop. Yeah, this is the file that got downloaded right now. .jmx, the name intranet performance testing training.jmx. I can just drag and drop over here. Yeah. So this is the file which got, let's look, hit URL, click login button and click about us. So these are all known as transaction controller. And under each transaction controller, we will get the APIs. This is the API. This is another API, click login, and this is about us. We can see in click login, we are getting the password. This is the password that I have used, and this is the login ID that I have used. So all the things are getting captured by the BlazeMeter. Whatever we are performing in front end, all the back end activities are captured by the BlazeMeter extensions, and it is giving us a combined file known as .jmx, which we need to import in JMeter tool. Now we can easily run this for multiple users, but before running, we need to make sure that we add some listeners. Listeners are nothing but the results, the way we will analyze our results. Suppose in thread group, this is the steps to add listeners. So in thread group, what we need to do, we need to right click on thread group, add listeners. There are lots of listeners, but majorly used listeners are view results in tree, and summary report. These are the two majorly used listeners. So suppose in thread group, we can define the number of users. You can see over here number of threads. So number of threads are nothing but number of users. So here it is by default is 1. Ramp up period is nothing but the time in which the users will get on board. So right now I'm giving it in 1 second. So this is the number of users and this is the number of seconds. And now let me run it for one user. So this is the run button. If you click here, you can see the timing over here, that how much time it is required for the script to get executed, and we can see that script getting executed over here. Let us wait for all the three URL. So first one is getting already got executed. We can see the results over here. It's the second one. Yeah, you can see it's again became green. That means our execution is completed and took around 48 seconds over here. So if we go to summary report, then we can see, look, this URL or this API basically user slash login, it took around 3000 milliseconds, which is 3 seconds basically. Okay, so average, minimum, and maximum will be same because we have only used it for one user. So when we will run it for multiple users, then we will get a different minimum, maximum, and average. So basically, we need to focus on average column. So this URL, when used by or when hit by one user, it is taking 3 seconds. Okay, which is quite high according to the performance testing standard, because we take 2000 milliseconds as a standard. But 2000 is not all the time it is the case, because sometimes the developer or the client say, look, 2000 is very harsh, make it 4000. So we are okay with 4000 also. But if it is not mentioned somewhere or not instructed somewhere, then we will take 2000 millisecond as a standard. Anything more than 2000 millisecond, we will report it, or we will consider it as a bug. So this is taking 3000 milliseconds. This URL is taking 812 milliseconds, which is 0.8 seconds, less than 1 second. Okay, and this about us is taking also 812 seconds. So this is basically for one user. We can see in user in tree also. This is the results. This is the request that we have got. The get request. This is the request that has gone to the server, and this is the response that we have got from the server. So it is giving us good response. So now from summary report, we can save this summary in CSV file. Like if we click over here, then a CSV file will get generated. We can write here like one user Internet. So for one users, and we can save it in our desired location as well. Hmm. So here we can save it. So if you want to see the file, so that file is already saved on that location, and we can share it to the client or to the dev team. Look, these are the results. We're getting the average time, we're getting the error percent, which is 0, and these are the results basically uh, for our load testing. So these are the steps. And, okay, so this is, I think, recording script has been done. We have imported the JMeter, how to import file in JMeter, that I have shown. And after importing, we need to add listeners, look listeners, summary report and view results in tree. That also done. Yeah, now the main thing. So this is data driving test. So at the beginning, initial part of this slide, I have mentioned about volume testing, right? So in volume testing, what we do, we provide different data. So if I take an example of this script, okay, okay, these are the clear buttons. So let me clear the results. Okay, so suppose here you can see a particular password and here a particular login ID, right? This is the password, this is the ID. So now if I run it for 5 users, suppose I'm defining it over here, 5 users, and I'm giving a ramp up at 2 seconds. Okay, but that means in 2 seconds, 5 users will log in and do this activity. They will hit the URL, they will log in, and they will click on About Us. So every time all the users will come to this application, that will take this user ID, this password, and it will go to the server and it will bring back the response to us. So let us see. Now we are running it for 5 users. Yeah. So our execution is completed, and all these three APIs has been executed for 5 users. So you can see, look, the average is 5,000 milliseconds, which is around 5 seconds. Okay, so out of 5 users, there might be one user uh, for whom the response time is 1.1 seconds, and there might be one user for whom the response time is 9 seconds. But we are taking average column. So now you can see in this file. uh, Here the password is this one, and the login ID is same. I mean, this is my login ID. Again, in the next, you can see the password is same and the login ID is also same, because I have used same user ID and same password. Okay. Next, we can see that same user ID and same password. And the next also, five for 5 users, 5 times we're saying same user ID, same password. So this might serve our purpose, but this is not the ideal scenario. Ideally, if 5 users are logging in an application, then they will use 5 different user ID and 5 different password, right? So we need to handle it by volume testing. So how we will handle those these scenarios? Like we need to provide 5 different user ID and 5 different users. So for that, we need to add one logic controller. Sorry, we we need to add one config element, which is CSV dataset config. Okay, so we need to provide that data from through CSV. So we have added this CSV over here, and we'll drag it over here. And I have already created one CSV. You can see over here, I have already created one CSV with 4 different user ID and 4 different password. Okay, just to make sure whether we have provided the CSV or Excel. Look, we have saved it in CSV. So here we have already given, yeah. So what we will do, we will put the file name over here. This is the file data.csv, and if we see the file over here, yeah, so the header name is pw and id. So same header name we have to copy because these are case sensitive, and we need to put it over here. Variable names pw, comma, space, and then the next header name, which is id. Okay, ignore first line will be true because we need to ignore the first line, because when JMeter will run this script and it will find the CSV file, then we need to tell the JMeter that please ignore the first row, because first row is header. So it will take from this row. The data that it will take from this row. So we need to make it true. Yeah. And the changes that we need to do is we need to go over here, and this password we need to remove. And there's a syntax, and this is called parameterization. So parameterization syntax is dollar and curly braces, and between the curly braces the same thing that we have written over here. What is pw, password? Here also same, dollar and curly braces, and inside id, you can see over here id. So that means when the JMeter will execute, it will come over here, dollar and curly braces, and from here this is redirection to here. And here it will see variable names, id, password. It will go to the file and it will take the data from the file. Okay, from here it will take. Let us save it. Okay, so now if I run it, execute it for 5 users, again for 5 users, 2 seconds. Let me clear the results. Okay, results are cleared. Let us see. Okay, so the execution is completed. Now if we see, um, look, here it has taken mksing 140 as an user id, right? The next one, hd majumdar as an user id. So the next user id is again hd majumdar. I will say, I will tell why 2 times hd majumdar has been taken. The next time is s kumar 6, and the next one is an kumar @qctech.com. So every time you have seen that, every time when we have executed it, it has taken different user ID. So it has we have created a script a bit in an ideal scenario, right? Ideally, this thing will only happen. Everyone will come with different user ID and different password, and they will log in. They will not come with single user ID and password, right? But here we have seen that why SD Majumdar has been taken 2 times and why all the other user ID have been taken 1 time, because we have executed it for 5 users, right? But in our CSV, you can see there are only 4 users. So when the fifth user will get executed, it will again go back to the first user. That's why SD Majumdar has been taken 2 times. So if I give another user ID and password here, then fifth user would have been this one, right? So in this way we can parameterize the data and we can do volume testing. Here also I can tell one another thing over here. Here you can see that server name is base URL one, right? So here you can see in user defined variable base URL one, and this is intranet.qctech.in, right? So if I write this intranet.qctech.in over here instead of in user defined variable, if I write it over here, then also it will work. But why we are using user defined variables? Because suppose this is your production URL, and in production URL, here I'm giving an example with 3 APIs, right? But in real time scenario, you can work with n number of APIs. There might be a project which have, I think, more than 100 APIs as well. So so suppose you are working in production and it has been instructed to you that please test these scenarios in UAT. So at that point of time, what will happen? You have to change the URL in all the 100 APIs. So that's why what we have done, we have used user defined variables. Here we have given the URL and we have given the name as base URL one, and we have parameterized it over here in dollar and curly braces. Same process, copy it from here and put it over here. So what will happen if someone asks you, suppose your manager or some lead is asking you to execute it for UAT, then you just need to change the value over here only in one place. Then all the 100 APIs or more n number of APIs will get executed with UAT instead of production. That's why we're using user defined variables. So this is what about volume testing, or we can say data driven testing. So yeah, any question until now?
यस सौरदीप, हम कई बार देखते हैं कि अपना जो
Hmm.
ये लॉगिन पोर्टल होता है,
Mhm.
लॉगिन बटन पे क्लिक करने के बाद एक ऑथेंटिकेशन पेज आता है जहाँ पे हमको अपनी पिन या कोई भी ऑथेंटिकेशन कोड एंटर करना होता है।
हाँ हाँ,
तो वो
right.
हर टाइम में वो यूनिक पिन या यूनिक कोड होता है, उसके लिए कैसे करेंगे?
कैप्चा ऑटोमेट नहीं होते, आप सिलेनियम में भी देखोगे वो लिमिटेशन, कुछ कैप्चा कुछ ओटीपी,
हाँ जी, हाँ
वो
जी।
हाँ वो ऑटोमेट नहीं होते। उस टाइम पे हमें डेवलपर को हमें बोलना पड़ेगा कि काइंडली डिसेबल दैट पार्ट so that we can execute our script, because here our purpose is ki if multiple user is using an application, is logging an application, then what will be the response? Okay, and that captcha part we can handle it in manual testing.
ओके, फाइन,
Okay.
थैंक्स।
Okay. uh, Next is, okay, so this is actually basically another topic that I will uh, for this topic I need to, I need to have a separate session, a whole session for this topic. So today I'm just giving a um, overview, a small overview, or you can say a high level overview on this. So it is transferring the data. Sorry. So what it will do, suppose if I give you an example, suppose when we are login, we are getting a token. In most of the application, you will see when you are logging with a particular user ID and password, we will get a token. The token is valid for few minutes or for few hours. Okay. So when we are recording a script with JMeter, we will use a particular user ID and password. So that particular user ID and password will generate a token, right? So that token is valid for few hours or maybe few minutes. But when we'll run the script, suppose we are executing, we have created a script today, and we will execute it maybe tomorrow or maybe 2 days later. So at that point of time, the token will not work. The token will get expired. So, but that token is already hard coded in our application, right? In our script. So when we will try to execute the script, it will give us error because the token that is there in JMeter script, it is the token that we actually got captured when we recorded the script 2 days back. But after 2 days, when we will execute the script, that token will not work. So there we need one dynamic token or some dynamic path that will handle the token dynamically. So for that, what we need to do, let me again go to the script. So in this application, there is no token actually. So let me tell you how we will get the token. Token basically we will get in login API. The API that contains user ID and password. In that API, you will get the token. You will get the token in the response of that API. So this is an API which has user ID and password. If you go to the response, here you will get the token. So this intranet application is not using any tokens. That's why it is blank. But in other applications or in real-time project, you will get a token over here in response. Okay, suppose this is the response. Here somewhere you will get a token. So we need to find the token. So what we need to do, there is a process. First of all, we need to copy it over here. Okay, let me tell you what to do with the token. So what happens when we get a token, the same token is used by the subsequent APIs. So suppose we are getting a token in these APIs, and after this API, there are n number of APIs down over here. Right now we have one API only, but in real-time project, we can say there are n number of APIs, and all those APIs will use that token as a request. Here you will get in response, but from response, you need to provide that token to all the other subsequent APIs request. Okay, in request, you need to provide the token. Suppose yeah. So what we need to do, uh, here in response, we need to copy this response. Suppose I'm copying this much only, and in Chrome we need to open a website called regex, which is regular expression, and we will get this website. This web page will get load. So here we need to remove all this thing and we need to paste it over here, and here also all this thing. Sorry, yeah. So suppose this true. This is the token. Okay, this is the token. Suppose this is not true, and this is the token. Token generally looks like this. You start with EY, and this is generally looks like this. So this is the token. Suppose, okay, and it comes with this text. So what we will do, we'll copy it, and we'll put it over here. We can see over here one match. Okay, so this is hard coded, right? This is the token that we have got when we have recorded the script, but now we need to make it dynamic. So for that, what we need to do, break it. Yeah, so dot and star in bracket, and you can see one match is also here, also one match. That means it is matching. That it means that whatever value will come on dot and star, it will get captured. So every time for every user, there will be different value, and this value will get captured in dot and X. So what we will do, this is our regular expression. We'll copy it, and here this API's response will give us the token, right? So here what we will do, we'll add one post processor, which is known as regular expression extractor. Okay, so here the regular expression that we have copied from that website, we will put it over here, responsive and the dot star. So whatever value will come over here, it will get captured, and we'll give the name here like token. Okay, and here it will be one, and the syntax of template is $1. Okay, so whatever value will come over here, the token, that token will be captured over here. Suppose in this value. So this value we will put over here. Here we will add one header. HTTP header manager, and here we will write the value. Suppose token, and here in dollar and curly braces we will put whatever name we have given here. We can give it any name. I'm giving a token. We can give it A, B, C, and anything we can give. But make sure we need to make sure that whatever name we are giving here, suppose I'm giving token underscore one. So the same name we should provide over here. Okay. So now what will happen when we'll execute the script? This script this API is carrying the user ID and password to the server. When it will bring back the response, with the response it will bring one token. That token will get captured over here, and it will pass the token in token underscore one name. And from here it will go to the subsequent APIs. There is only one API, but in real time you can see there are n number of APIs, and it will go over here. So now this token has been handled dynamically. Okay, so we will not get any authentication error. Basically, when we will get one authentication error while executing the performance testing script, it is 401 unauthorized. Here we can see that everything is 200. 200 is good. Here you can see it's 200. The response will be okay. But when there will be error, it will say 401 unauthorized, the response message. So this is because of the token authentication. So in this way, we can handle the token. So for this, we might have a separate session in near future. But basically, this is a high level explanation of how we handle a token. Okay. Uh, okay. Now is handling cookies. Same with cookies as well. In cookie, what happened? Cookie also get expired after a certain amount of time, right? So that also we need to handle in automatically. I mean, in automation way, we need to handle, and we need to handle it dynamically as well. Because when we record a script like the token, the cookie also get captured, but that cookie gets expired after certain amount of time. And if we execute the script after suppose 1 day or 2 day or maybe after 1 month also, we can execute the load test script. At that point of time, that cookie will not work. So to handle it, we need to have HTTP cookie manager, which is there. You can see over here, HTTP cookie manager. So cookie we can find from here. Suppose this is our website. So here we need to inspect, and we need to go to the application, and you can see cookie. This is the cookie value. Okay. So we need to copy the cookie value, and we need to put it here. Just give a name cookie, and in value put it over here. But uh, along with that, we need to make a little bit of configuration changes in JMeter. So that also I am showing where we need to do. Suppose this is our JMeter that we have downloaded. So in bin folder, we have a file called jmeter.properties. You can see over here, or you can filter it from here, like properties file. So we can have jmeter.properties, open it, and here we can search for cookies, cookie manager. Next, yeah, here you can see cookie manager. No, not this one, sorry. Yeah, cookie manager dot allow variable cookies equal to true. So this hash are commented in Java. We can see that double slash are commented, right? Whenever we write in Java code, we can see double slash are commented. So here this hash is commented, so we need to remove this hash, and we just need to save it. Okay, save it and restart our JMeter application. And then this cookies already we have pasted over here. Then it can magically, handle the cookies or by its own. We need not to do anything now. We have provided the first value over here. We have provided cookie over here, and we have changes. We've done some changes, configuration changes in JMeter bin folder, and now cookies also will get handled dynamically. So in this way, we handle cookies. The next step is, yeah, this is results. So results are basically, look, I told you earlier that we can have two results. These are two listeners. These are called listeners, users in tree and summary reports. So in summary reports, we can uh, save the data from here. Suppose this I have ran for 5 users. So here I can give like um, 5 users and then project name. You can give the date as well, in which date you executed, and then you can save it. And accordingly, we can send it, share the file with the development team, dev team, or with the client as well. And in tree we can debug anything. Suppose if any error comes or what is the request, what is the response, to find out the token and all. So we can do with the tree. But these are the two listeners which is widely used. Along with that, there are other listeners which we can use, like view results in table. Then there is another listeners called aggregate graph. Yeah. So here it will show us the graphs. So these are the other things, but basically we are using results in tree and summary reports as well in results. So if some right now there are no errors in this application, but if errors comes over here, so we can report these errors also. So if these kind of errors are coming, so kindly fix your application. And here, as I have told, the standards that we use is 2000 milliseconds. So anything more than 2000 milliseconds is reportable. But sometimes we get the instruction that look 2000 is very harsh, so we can accept it up to 4000. So then it's okay. Then we can consider it as a requirement and we can move ahead. So this is the results basically. And yeah, any questions until now? So any questions or should I take it as a no? Everything is clear, I guess.
Hi, Souradeep. I have one
Hi.
query. One simple query is there.
Sure, sure.
Uh, when there is not mention about any timing, then ideally, which should I take?
Ideally, as I have told, as a performance testing standard, we should take 2000 milliseconds. It is 2 seconds.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
I missed
Then
it in initial training. So,
yeah, sure. So ideally, we will take 2000 seconds.
it's the basic timing there that will support our application.
Yeah.
Okay.
2000, if it is not mentioned or not instructed somewhere or in FRS, or if client doesn't telling you that, yeah, then at that point of time 2000. But sometimes clients or dev team tell us that look 2000 is very harsh, so please consider that 4000 also. So then we are okay with that. But if it is not mentioned, then we will highlight that part. If it is coming more than 2000, we'll highlight it and we will share the report with the dev
And
team.
same I want to ask about the users, number of users.
Number of users will be instructed to you. If
Okay.
not, then you have to ask. Yeah, number of, because we are not aware that the particular application
If
is.
client is mentioning that that person is only interested to do a performance testing, but not uh, not sure about the number of user, then in that case, which ideal number we can take?
Look, when client is developing an application, he must know that what is his end user, what is the number of his end users.
Okay,
So
so
okay, client will
basic.
definitely tell us. Client will definitely tell us because client is developing an application from us, right? So
Yes, yes,
client knows this very well that what will be his end users, what will be the
yes.
number of his end users. So if suppose he is telling that look, my users will be used by 100 users. So for load testing, we will do up to 100 users. We'll start from 25, 50, 75, 100. And for stress testing, we will test beyond 100. We need to find out the stress point as well, because at what point the application is
Oh,
getting crashed.
oh.
we can see before 100, or suppose in 80 users also, suppose sometimes the application get crashed. So at that point of
Yes.
time, we need, it is a bug.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that point of time, we will report to the developer, look, this application requirement was 100 users, but it is not able to handle 80 users. So
Yes.
please fix.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if it is working fine with 100, then also we will try to test more than 100 to find out the stress point.
Stress point. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other question?
Souradeep, I
Uh,
think
uh,
team has got everything. So I think you
uh,
should prepare a list of questions, and we will have a separate session to discuss those questions so
sure,
that you just know how much they got from this training.
sure. And the team can reach me anytime in Skype and to ask if they have any queries in future as well. Yeah.
Sure.
So if there's nothing to discuss, I think we can wrap it up. Thank you so much, guys, for your time.
Thank.
Thank you, Souradeep.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Saurdeep.
you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Souradeep.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Souradeep.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.